So welcome to our little gathering. I'm excited to see that 5 of us trainers made it here and 2 of the organizers. So we will be able to introduce ourselves to begin with, and then we're certainly open to answer questions. I'll start. My name is Karen Starz. You see I'm here in New Mexico. So you will be coming to my state should you choose to come to this IIT. And right now, actually, I'm in Silver City, so I'm not at my home in Truth or Consequences. That's the town that I live in. It's in southern New Mexico. Else about me, I've been certified since 2019. Been to 4 IITs, most recently one in Norway this summer. And I'm really excited to work with this group of trainers and to see all the people who are coming from all around the world. So I will call on next. Duke, would you like to go?
Sure. Thank you, Karen. My name's Duke Duchscherer. I'm originally from Canada. I live in the US up in Rochester, New York, near Niagara Falls, in the Canada border. I've been a certified trainer since 2000. Yeah, what can I say? I've been to a number of IITs and they're very intense and very wonderful yeah, a joy to participate in and a joy to lead and stretching, very stretching. So I'm looking forward to how that'll work for all of us this time. Sylvie, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you, Duke. I'm Sylvia Hörning. I live in Switzerland, and I've lived in different places in the world, amongst others, New York and Brazil and Mexico. So I see myself as a citizen of the world more than just of Switzerland. I've been a certified trainer since 2012, and I went to my very first IIT in 2007, not knowing anything about NVC, but someone told me, oh, you have to go meet this Marshall Rosenberg, and he was in Switzerland at the time. So I went there, and I was fascinated by what he had to share, even if I didn't understand much of what he was saying, but something that he shared appealed to me really deeply. And I'm just coming back home from a 2-day celebration of 25 years in the French-speaking part of Switzerland of NVC. So there's an association that was built 25 years ago, and we spent the last 2 days celebrating that with the elders and the very newcomers. So there were 500 people at that event. So I'm still full of energy, thinking, yeah, let's bring this to the world and share it with everybody who wants to live from a different place. So this is me all excited now, and also to see you all.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So next, Olga, please.
Yeah, I'm Olga. My surname is like, if I pronounce it in Russian, I'm not sure if you get it, Belogrivtsova, but I tried. I live in Cyprus, even though I'm Russian. I live in Cyprus for 18 years, and my children, they believe already that they don't belong to Russia, they belong to Cyprus. Cyprus is a small island in the Mediterranean, so just for you to know, it's such a tiny place, not many people know it exists. I came to nonviolent communication thanks to my daughter, and it was like 12 years ago, because I was struggling to understand how to bring up this little baby and then a child. I'm a certified trainer from 2019. I believe it's like, I'm very young. I'm a baby certified trainer so far. I see how much I have ahead to learn and experience. I work mostly now with, well, I'm kind of shifting, but my major work is with a Russian-speaking audience. And I really hope that I can bring a little change there, just not to do anything, is to hope. That's me, and I'm passing to Livette.
Hi, I am Vivet Alevi, born and grown up in Turkey as a belonging to a Jewish community, minority, and lived my grown-up life in Germany. And since 15 years, I'm commuting between Berlin, Istanbul, Turkey, Germany, Cyprus also. I was many times in Cyprus. So just bringing this wonderful gift I received to other people who want to make change in their life. I am certified since 2004 and assessor since 2008-9. I'm active as assessor. I hope my English will be so much more better when I am in New Mexico. I will practice, but not yet. At the moment, I'm speaking mainly German, so my language center is a little confused. But you understand me, I hope. And about NVC, you know, I thought I resolved all my communication problems with the father of my son, and life taught me something different. My son wanted to have more connection to his father, so I had to learn. I had to learn some new tools to deal with my enemy image number one. So this is how I began with NVC. And as I have been an activist, political activist, I realized very, very, very quickly it's treasure there to dig, to find out, to explore, learn. And today I shared with my Turkish speaking community that I'm so happy I found again something I can learn. Kid Miller is sharing NVC with the Turkish community, so I'm so amazed. And I really celebrate this attitude, being in this world to learn, not to know, but to learn. And this is what I can share. Many things else. So let's put a point. I lived long enough on this planet, so I have much more to tell. Let's stay with this one. I'm very excited. This will be my very first journey to USA. This is the special part of this IIT for me. That's me for the moment.
Thank you. And I want to acknowledge that we have two of our three organizers here, Tammy and Robin. So if you had been getting messages from Gert, we made a shift so that he can tend to his private life and home life. And now Tammy, Robin, and Christine have stepped in. So did you both want to just say a quick hello? Maybe Tammy, you want to go first?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Tammy Terrell, and I live in Southern California in a city called Chino Hills. I'm pretty new to NVC. I've been working with Karen for about 2 to 3 years now. This will be my first time being at an IIT, but also participating as organizer. So very exciting times for me. Looking forward to meeting you all and working with you all, and we will be in contact soon. That's me.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and I live in southern New Mexico, a little further south than Karen. And this is also going to be my first time participating in IIT. I'm really excited and really honored to be part of the organizing team and to see this beautiful event come together. And I'm very excited for all of you to be in my beautiful home, my state.
Thank you. So before we go to questions, which I'm sure you probably do, I'm just noticing that we have a what I would call a smaller group. And do you all want to just say hello, like a quick hi, my name is, and have this much NVC?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
I'll try to make this short. I tend to talk a lot. My name is Chris Page. My career has been in both education and in software development. I spent my life building other people's dreams, helping them articulate that and build that and have them come to reality. I'm very close to a retirement. I'm just working a few hours. And so now what I want to do is build my dream. And the essence of my dream is to help heal the world. And a big part of that is actually making tools that bring tools like nonviolent communication, emotional intelligence, thinking fast, so the best of psychology, available to everyone, available in the moment, available to help in the moment of most need, and then connect that to all the best NVC trainers when the human connection is needed, and then completely facilitating that network. And so I'm looking to build a community around people who understand the power of NVC and to get trained myself. I'm working with a group here in Silicon Valley, very focused on doing things like this, applying the best of AI that's just exploding towards that. And so it's wonderful to meet you, and please feel free to reach out if you want to be part of that. And I just have to tell one story. I've gotten into NVC more in the last few years, and then a lightning bolt hit me about 6 months ago. That when I was in college at UC Berkeley and I was volunteering in an elementary school, they would come in for recess, and I was blown away because they do this little exercise. It's called circle time. And Sally would say, who wants to come in the circle? Sally would come in and says, I'm calling Johnny in. Johnny, when I was on the swing and you pushed me, you made me really scared. And I want you to stop pushing me. And all of a sudden I realized that was NVC. They were teaching these kids NVC. And I hadn't connected the dot to this. It was just like, because I said, this is the most powerful, interaction, activity I've ever seen. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thanks, Chris. Rena, would you like to go?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I started learning about NVC in 1997. I really needed it as a new parent and struggling in my marriage. And but it was like, why did somebody not teach this to me when I was a kid in elementary school, right? But it just totally resonated, made sense. And so I just pursued more and more learning. I completed trainer certification in 2010. I think this will be my 4th IIT. I did a lot of volunteer work with nonviolent communication family camps. Really, really liked working with like the sandbox crowd, that like 4 to 7-year-old group, and just doing NVC on the fly, super concise, just to keep everything collaborative and everybody. So super fun. And something else that I did was volunteer for a group called Freedom Project. So doing weekend workshops for men in prison. And so all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And that was a real growth experience for me because I really learned how to embody leadership more. I'm so much more comfortable offering support like one-on-one from the sidelines. So that's kind of my comfort zone. And I'm currently working in a community-based mental health agency, and working with people one-on-one. And I have a whole set of tools that I bring out to support people with grief or self-awareness, self-compassion. So yeah, it's a bit about myself, where I've been and what I'm doing.
Thanks, Serena. Cody, would you like to share anything?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Karen. My name is Cody. I'm currently in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but I'm moving down to Silver City in 2 weeks. So it's cool to see that there's some members of the community there. I've been practicing NVC for about a decade, and it's been super helpful to me in my personal life and relationships. In the past few months, I've been aware that I'm looking for some more expansion in my life. And I stumbled across the work of Mickey Cashton like a month or 2 ago. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it, but it's just been totally destroying my world in the most wonderful way. And that's like the frequency that I've been hungry for. So I'm just kind of trying to find a way to move more in that direction.
Thanks, Cody. And Lisa?
Thanks, Karen. So I'm Lisa, and I'm in Lubbock, Texas, and I am a baby with NVC. So I came across Marshall's book in December and shared it with a colleague. I work in higher education, and within that realm, I teach music, and I also work in faculty development. And so my colleague who also works in faculty development was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And I agreed. And so we started looking into learning more about it. We signed up for courses with Karen. It has been life-changing. That's not an underestimation of the experience. So we are really, really interested in looking at ways we can further integrate NVC into higher ed, particularly in our current environment in higher ed, which is very challenging, particularly in Texas right now. And there's a lot of hurt and unfortunately a lot of verbal and other types of violence. So we think that NVC can be a really effective way of connecting people, whether that's faculty to faculty, faculty to administrators, faculty to students, students to students. And so I will be at my first IT in September with you all, and I'm excited to get to just see and connect with the people who will be there, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. It's nourishing to hear a little bit of everyone who's in the room. Well, our theme for this IIT is spirituality, and each trainer team gets to choose a theme. We came to this after having several conversations and also starting with a different team and then morphing into the team we have now. So it's ever changing, and yet it's a place where we can meet. And so we're going to just go around and talk a little bit about what that means to us, and then we'll be open to any questions. So Vivette, are you ready to start on this round?
I was just trying to write a smart sentence I found and I lost it now. Let's see. Yeah, spirituality. I really lost it. It was so beautiful. Give me 15 seconds. So I'm here with NVC, on the way with NVC, because I want to create the world I want to live in. This is, and today, now. And for this, as an old activist, I had the experience going out and fighting didn't bring the change I longed for. So I searched for ways what create real change. So for me, a change maker needs a spiritual consciousness. So this is what so getting conscious about connection. What is connection in the deepest level with myself, with life, with the world. So this is the spirituality I understand, which NVC helps me to create, to deepen, to connect, to explore. So this is at the moment what I can say to spirituality. I hope it made sense. I'm a little insecure with my English, but doesn't matter. I'm hopeful.
Olga, would you like to go?
Yeah. I notice how I'm probably a little bit nervous approaching this topic, because it's on the one hand is very simple, and on the other hand is so complicated. So I see how For me, it was with just breaking through experience of getting to understand nonviolent communication as practice of spirituality, of living energy in me and other people, and these amazing moments which I don't think it's possible to describe in words. You can experience it, and that is why it's so important to pass NVC from person to person, that we can kind of be in this moments of connection. And this is how, like, as if for me, spirituality is connection, was with oneself and with another person. Yeah, probably that's it.
Beautiful.
Next one is Sylvie.
Okay, in a few words. I joined the first IIT not wanting to hear anything about spirituality. I didn't want to join any kind of sect or anything at that time. I thought NVC is just going to be those 4 steps, the mechanics of it, and it will change my life. And it did. And I used the 4 steps mechanically for a while with my 3 children. And already that was a shift from using power over and stuff with them. And authoritarian methods and yelling at them and spanking them, which I didn't enjoy doing. At the same time, I did. That's what brought me to NVC. I wanted to deal with my anger differently than I was dealing with it. But I didn't want to join a sect. And so for the first, I think, 2 years, I just used it mechanically. And then I met Robert Gonzalez and Susan Sky, and their approach sort of sank in, and it was this beautiful connection from heart to heart. And that had all the barriers melt. It was just, it wasn't a man or a woman in front of me or there weren't any barriers anymore or enemy images that my head was making up. It was just this wonderful connection from my heart to the other person's heart. And that's what I call the magic of NVC, or the spirituality, or the divine energy, or whatever we want to call it. And now, to me, I cannot dissociate it from NVC anymore. And it took me that path to get there, from being somewhere totally different. And now I have my magic wand here with me all the time to get to that connection, to remind me that that's what's important.
Where can you buy those?
I make them myself. I made this one myself. Thank you. Duke, you're next.
Sure, thanks, Sylvie. I think, although at the time I may not have quite called it this way, I think spirituality brought me to NVC, in the sense that I had a vision or a dream of how I wanted to act and behave and be in the world, and was fairly consistently failing miserably at living up to that vision. And when I came across Marshall's book and read it, I was like, wow, this is so practical. This will help me to live in the world in the way I want to live. And so I dove right into NVC because of that. And I think now the NVC both is a way to help me stay connected with that spiritual place, and that spiritual place helps me to keep using NVC in situations where maybe it's really difficult for me, or really hard, or I want to go back to old methods and whatever, yell and scream, or cherish my enemy images of people and hold on to them. So it's kind of they kind of both are mutually supportive. But I guess for me, that spirituality is that deeper intention that keeps me coming back to why I'm wanting to live and share NVC consciousness. Karen, would you like to go next?
Thank you, Duke. Yeah, been listening to everyone and going through some of what Olga is feeling, and then being with you and your emotions as well, and expression. And it's for me a large topic as well. And I think what I want to share is that I really want all belief systems to be welcome and to be excited about sharing their belief system, whether it's being an atheist or, you know, doing ceremony or belonging to a church. I just want everyone to be able to bring that. And when I work with communities, especially communities that have like a lower economy or a lot of trauma, what I find is that faith is something that helps bring the community together and to give hope. So for me, this is really important, is to touch that hope, however it shows up. And I truly believe that it will shift the world. So if it is shared humanity that we call our spirituality, or if it's, you know, a certain religion, I would just really want it all to be welcome and to play in that field. Yeah. So we are open now for questions. Any question is okay.
Can I share this? You just touched me deeply on the spirituality thing. Can I just share for a minute?
Sure, Chris.
Sorry. So I grew up with this major split in my brain between I'm a scientist and fact-based and this pull to spirituality. And after reading Rosenberg, I actually a year ago attended a 10-day silent retreat with Vipassana. On the 10th day, we can speak. And I was telling somebody, I said, oh my God, Goenka, the guy who developed this is NVC. Some guy was walking behind me, he said, yeah, it's NVC all the way. So to your point, what you were saying, Karen, this idea of there are truths in the world, the labels we put on it, the translations, right? Those are just, those can be blockers, but it's just, how do we connect at the heart, whatever, and take the labels off, and how do we just really make sure that's the essence of it? And the more we can sort of get rid of the labels and go to that heart connection, that's where it's at.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for sharing that.
So I guess my question is, tell me how that's integrated into this. I mean, I know reading Rosenberg, it was really refreshing to know that he tapped into his research. He tapped into a lot of the best of the spiritual traditions, and that's, you know, intentionally integrated. It isn't just the psychology. So how is this in this training? How is that integrated, brought forth?
Who would like to, out of the trainers, who would like to respond first?
What spontaneously comes to my mind is when we asked Marshall, his answer was always practice, practice, practice. So tonight we will have deepest practice. Putting in life, living the principles and deepening our consciousness. This is what comes to me.
Yeah, and I'll say, even though we have themes, which you may or may not be aware of, we have themes for each day that are part of Marshall's gift. We'll also bring in our focus. So a theme of the day might be empathy or self-empathy. So then we would look at, okay, so does one trainer want to offer a focus on spirituality and empathy? Does one trainer want to offer, you know, embodied empathy or self-empathy? And we will be offering trainings at the same time. So we will be, you know, experiencing the FOMO, or as someone said last time, JOMO, joy of missing out. And it really is at, we're still creating right now, but you can look for the flavor being alive each day. Does anyone want to add anything?
I see how in each session it might be, even if the name of the session is not about spirituality per se, but since we will be practicing nonviolent communication in different ways and exploring it, there will be always this, I don't know, flavor or spirit of spirituality. How could I say so? Because yeah, we are aiming for connection to the heart.
Go ahead, Zoe.
We were catching our breaths together, right? Thank you. I'd like to say that just like that, by modeling what we want to share with you and by living it honestly, and if by chance we are off track, and to model how we can get back to connection. Because I don't live connected all day long every day of my life, even if I wish I did. And I can get back to connecting with myself and connecting with the other person more often every as I go on practicing, like Vivette said. So I'd like to be able to model that for all of us, for myself and for everybody. Duke, go ahead.
Sure. I resonate with what all of you have said, and I think there's all the different aspects. Only one additional piece that I can think of at this moment is it will also impact or influence the topics I choose to share, because we have topics that each day that we're going to be covering, but we also have, because there's going to be 5 of us, choice around how other things that we can offer as well. So I might share other topics that to me are connected with spirituality, like interdependence or powerful vulnerability or things like that, that I might not offer at another IIT on a different, theme. So that also could be a part of how that will be integrated into the whole process of the 10 days.
Yeah, I think so. We're maybe complete on that question for now. And is there another question?
I have a question I can ask. It's not super well formulated, but I'm curious if there is a clear intention in the minds of the trainers for what outcome you would like the participants to experience.
Yeah, so I'm hearing, let me see if I've got it, Cody, that you're wondering if there's a clear intention in our group mind of what the outcome would be for participants from this training.
Yeah, I think you got it. Yeah, it's like for the people that are attending this, what would you like them to receive, or how would you like them to be changed, or yeah, what would sort of vision for the workshop as a whole?
Well, I will start with just some honesty that we are getting together, working on curriculum and vision, and I'm not sure that we're quite to that point, although individually we probably have ideas of what we would like. At least I'm speaking for myself right now, and for how we've been meeting and figuring out logistics. However, I'm pretty sure that we all have some outcome, and we just need to gel the collective mind. So if you individually want to share your thoughts, trainers, you're welcome to that.
I would love to share a quote from Robert Gonzalez that I try to live by. It's live with passion. When you encounter a contraction, offer it your compassion and let go of the outcome. So that's how I want to be present at the IIT, to be fully present, fully in my presence, in my center, And if there's tension in me or in others, to offer it compassion and then trust life and let go of the outcome. I hope that answers your question a bit.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm hearing there, Sylvie, is the way I formulated my question was within a paradigm of outcomes being important or something to be built into the structure. And what I'm hearing is that from the model you're operating from, it's important for you not to be overly fixated on an outcome. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you, Cody. And at the same time, this was separate from what Karen was saying, because I really to treasure our work together as a team, and we haven't gotten to that place here yet. So that this was just my personal view.
Thank you.
What is alive in me with your question is, wow, I have been to so many IITs and a part of the training team. And this is one of the most well-organized team. You know, we came together years ago, we came together just short before the IIT, and we did what we could. And the outcome was always miracle. So I don't have this idea to have an outcome. I am so much trustful that when we come together and build a community, build the container that trust can be lived. So we do our best to live what we learned and to create a space together, co-create. So there I have trust that the outcome will be for every single participant beneficial. Does this make a sense? I don't know, but spontaneously, this is what came up from me.
I can just add to that what Vivette said. I think in particular, for me, it is about just as best we can holding and creating a space where all of us, myself included, have that opportunity to step into whatever's next for us, whatever next piece of learning, whatever next piece of personal growth, whatever edge we're sitting at, ready to go beyond, just to create that space where if we choose, each of us, we can step into it. And I'm also hopeful that we'll also do that in some way as a community, as a group of people. And again, I don't know what that looks like or what that means exactly, but I've seen it happen enough times that I really, as you said, Vivette, trust that a lot. And I'm always curious and excited to see, wow, I wonder where we're going to go this time, both for myself personally and also for us as a group and a team. And yeah.
I'd like to follow up on that with Duke. That's helpful because it's kind of relates to a question I have, is that how much is like, these are great concepts. I have some questions about how that might apply in this situation that's very present in my mind. And that sounds like that's kind of in sync, right? We're talking about this. I go, here's the kinds of things I deal with and how might that apply here so that it can really, it's not, it isn't these general concepts that I'm trying to figure out how to integrate it. Because, you read Rosenberg and it's all so simple. And then you get into the heat of the moment and you got to go, wait. Hey, where did it all go? What do I do here? Right?
Yeah. That we can have these ideas and these concepts, but then actually putting them into practice on what's up in our life or our thing. Yeah. And that's
in
for
the
me
moment that it's needed most.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of the IIT, because we're all trying to live it together over many days. We both, I think, as trainers, we often will, share a concept or whatever, or explore a concept through practicing and, getting your hands on it with using your own personal, whatever it is that you want to look at. And then I also find that the IIT, because we're living together and in a big group, it tends to provide opportunities, let's say, to go deeper into some of those places where we might have some challenges. You know, it seems to happen magically, so to speak. So it's
So you're
definitely very much
requesting-
about what's alive now and what do we need to work on now.
So if we bring our worst self, that's rich with golden opportunities. I'm joking, but
To bring ourselves is good enough, I think, with all parts of us.
right.
I don't want to lose sight of Cody's question and just check in with Olga if you had anything to add.
No, I think it was complete.
Cody, how are you feeling in relation to the responses?
I think I feel a little more oriented. Duke's response was helpful. I think the reason I asked the question is kind of like, if I were to sign up for the IIT, like, what am I signing up for? You know, it's not super clear to me what happens, or you know. So what I'm hearing from Duke is that because of the container that's created, people sort of are able to grow or evolve in the areas that feel most relevant to them at that point in time, through engaging with the material. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. And we will be co-creating systems of empathy and restoration for the community, as well as the learning. So we offer these learnings. You have these things we call home groups, which is a smaller pod within the larger community. And then you have these systems that will hold us together. So that we work on together a little bit we're already working together as a team with some of those things. And then, of course, when we get there. Yeah. And Lisa, you had unmuted at the same time as Cody, so I'm wondering if your question is still alive.
It is still alive for me. Thank you so much, Karen. You're such a beautiful facilitator. My question for those of you who have been to one or multiple IITs, if you could send a message to your younger self before attending IIT, what advice would you give yourself?
I love the image of all of these people looking off into the distance, searching. It's a beautiful image, actually. You really stimulated something. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, I love that question.
I had just a like a kind of off the cuff response. Like it took me a while. I did need to look up and like, wow, what a question. And I think be ready to be moved, because there were so many moving moments in my first IIT in Victoria. And when was that? 2002. Yeah, I just had no idea. I just knew that I was going there to do this thing because I loved NVC. But and yeah.
I would advise myself to relax into experience. It was anyway, I couldn't resist. It was 2012 in Switzerland, and Sylvia was there as a trainer, and I was as a participant. I just remember quite a lot of tension around what's going on. What's going on? Why? Like my mind was too active, trying to figure out what was going on. And I would, I think I could enjoy it more if I relax into experience.
And before I leave you all, because we're having dinner here at home with my family, I would like to turn the question around. It's what is my younger self telling me to do at the next IIT, and it's just joy, because I didn't know anything about NVC when I joined the first IIT, and I went there with no expectations, with my heart full of curiosity and open. So that's what I like to remember now, to go there in an innocent kind of way and open-minded and just see what happens, and let myself be in awe about what can happen. Thank you for that question, Lisa. I enjoyed it.
I'm loving these answers. It's making me feel very excited.
And I look forward to hopefully seeing you in New Mexico in a few months. And I'm off for the evening. Take care, everybody. Thank you for taking the time and be here today. Bye.
So I was thinking too what Sylvie said. I was like, wow, I was really open and innocent and eager at my first IIT, and that was really lovely. I think that the thing that I would add is, it just popped into my head, it was bring snacks. You know why? It was like snacks that I like. It just came up in my head. So that would be my response.
Can I hang out with you, Karen? I like your response. What room are you staying in?
You may like her response, but you may not like her snack. So,
oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's true, I suppose, but I bet I would. What came up for me, I think the first IIT I went to, I was super hungry to learn. So I was like going day and night. And I think I would have loved to just taken a little bit better care of myself and given myself a little more space for like integration and things like that. And it took me a while to kind of learn to do that. That at least I needed that, you know, for others, they may not, but I certainly needed space. I kind of got a little overwhelmed. It was awesome and wonderful. And it was almost a little too much for me at one time, because I was just going nonstop. So I want to learn this, I want to learn that. Yeah. So that was what's coming for me.
No, thank you. I remember my first IIT is really long ago. It's more than 20 years. And there was only Marshall Rosenberg. So we were just big with him everywhere and intense. And at the same time, I had my year-long program parallel. So I would say today, hey, Vivette, take it easy, slow down one by one, not all of one. It's like Duke says, I was so eager, practicing, and I missed sleeping, and it was emotional, turbulent. Do you say in English turbulent? So I was really overwhelmed. And this is what I would say, slow down. 9 days is intensive enough. You don't need to make a fool of yourself, plus full of yourself. It's enough inspiration and not trigger, but I forgot the word. Anyway, it's enough happening. You don't need to create more than it's already there. Yeah, slow down and enjoy this, I would say to myself.
So Lisa, how are you feeling in relation to the responses?
So seeing all of you recalling memories from your experience in your first IIT has created a sense of joy in me. That I find that very inspiring, and it has amplified my sense of curiosity about this time together in September. I really appreciate the permission to take it easy, to take care of myself, or for all of us to take care of ourselves in this very intense time together, so that we can get the most out of it, including making sure that our bodies are fueled for the experience with our snacks of choice. So Yeah, keeping the blood sugar up is so important to learning. So I really appreciate that reminder, Karen. Yeah, so thank you all so much for sharing that with me and with all of us. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you all in person.
Thanks, Lisa. And Chris, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you, Duke. Your talk really stimulated a question. I mean, it seems to me of all the different trainings I've ever had, and I leave so inspired and so pumped up and perhaps arrogant that I have this wonderful new tool, but it's all about the integration. And the integration is always harder than you think it's going to be. So what part of the training is really focused on, okay, now you have these tools, now is really the beginning. So here are the ideas of how you don't expect everything or whatever. What are the guides? How much of the training is part of, okay, now here is the hard part, and here's how some ideas for starting that integration. Does that make sense?
Duke, did you want to start responding to that one?
Sure, I can do that. Sure. So let me just make sure I'm understanding, Chris, that you're wondering like what kind of support or where do we talk about how do we integrate this in our life, and how do we and where to kind of have some care or caution about how we use it once we leave the container of the IIT.
Yeah, let me just paint a little bit picture. You guys seem like amazing, wonderful people. And I feel like what's going to come up is practicing in a way that doesn't reflect some of the more challenging situations we'll get into in our real life. And so that's this idea of how much the training, I'm sure, is wonderful, but I'm just wondering how much of that training is really proactively saying, now here's what you're apt to meet, and here's this idea of how you do that. So I don't know if I'm being clear, but in other words, how much is that focus on the integration and not just the tools we're developing in the moment and finding it easier to apply with a group of amazing people who are eminently skilled? How much is that part of it?
Well, I think if I'm getting you right, I think what will be part of, probably almost every session in some way or another is us bringing our own life experience to practice and to really, so what is a challenge for you in your life? Can you we've learned a tool now, let's use it and practice on that. So there'll be some of that. Is that kind of what you mean?
Sure. Yeah. So in other words, it's the training itself. There isn't this idea of now the integration beyond just the tools you're learning that may apply, much of it may apply what you think is most relevant to your practice or your personal life, that there's nothing explicit about here's some ideas for how you integrate it separate from the training itself.
Well, and I'll leave it to my other colleagues to speak to it. The one other thing that's coming to mind hearing what you're sharing is just that, towards the last day or so, we'll start talking about ideas for going home and things to do and things maybe to be aware of or to be cautious about, and things as you leave this container, hopefully, that we've created that has allowed us to go, quite deep. So we will also talk about some of those kind of things. How do we integrate it? What do we do when we go home, leave this place? So
Great,
that maybe speaks to at least part of what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that.
And then any other thing, please?
I would. Is anybody? Karen?
Go ahead. I'll go after you.
I'm very much interested in this area, the integration, and to stay on track with the knowledge, with the experience you get, and otherwise it's obvious it disappears when you don't practice. So I'm very much interested on supporting people being creative to create space of learning, ongoing learning. It's a life learning issue, nonviolent communication. It's 10 days. We offer you the taste of honey, how you make honey, how you build honey worms. But this is all in your hand to take it and to put it in practice so that you build your honeyworm, you say, how you call it?
Honeycomb.
So that, yeah, so that you create your honey. And this is the community. And all the IIT is in itself a community building technology, I would say. Everything what we offer, how we create, how we put in practice, you can take and use for yourself. And I would love to find ways in what I am offering support in this direction. So as we said, we didn't have yet our deepest relation, connection about creating this IIT especially. I can speak in my name, but I'm sure when we come together and think of it, we will see what systems, what structures is helpful to stay in track. I appreciate your question. It's very important. Integration. It's a life skill that needs time. So
what I'll add is there is, as far as actual dedicated integration time, we do have an afternoon at least in the middle of the training where you can start letting it integrate, maybe talking to others about your own projects or just taking a walk. You know, it's really time not to learn anything new. And then I don't know that we haven't decided yet, but on Social Change Day, I've been to an IIT where we laid out all our projects that we were working on, and we rotated and let people come around and give input on those projects. I'm not saying that we're going to do that, but there's always an opportunity to offer your own offering, like maybe get input on a project that you're working on, either early in the morning or late in the evening. So we really do want you to bring your real life passions with you.
Beautiful.
Olga, did you want to add
and
anything?
dancing, singing, and playing is part of it. Sorry, I thought you finished. So I was just wanting to emphasize that singing, dancing, and fun play is the most important part of the integration. I believe we will have space for it also.
Olga, did you have anything to add?
No, a lot was said.
And so, Chris, how are we? Are we feeling complete with this question?
I really appreciate all the input, and I just want to call out that my goal is to learn to sing and dance through life in every moment. So that's a beautiful contribution to that, and I appreciate that detail.
Any further questions? Oh, Duke, you have to leave, right?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. I want to honor some commitments I have here with my family and things. So, but thank you. It's been really fun to get to meet some of you and to hang out with my colleagues again, have an excuse. And I'm excited, and hopefully we'll get to meet all of you in a few months and get to spend 10 amazing, challenging, scary, wonderful days together. So I look forward to that. Take care, all.
Thanks, Duke.
Thank you.
Well, as our number gets smaller, do the questions always also get smaller, or are there more more questions? Well, if there are any that come up, you can reach out to Tammy as our organizer. She sent the reminder to everybody, so I think you will have her email. And if Tammy, if you also want to put that in the chat, you can, and they can grab the email. Anything logistical, of course, we did have a couple money dances. We'll have a couple more. And that is for those of you that need help or want to help with fundraising and stirring the pot of abundance for those that maybe are telling themselves they can't come because the money, or are afraid, or just need a little creative support. So look for those in emails to come out, that the dates and times of the money dances. See if there's anything else on my mind. The venue, for those of you, well, for you, Cody, it's on the backside of Monsanto, so that's drivable distance. For the rest, you'd be flying into Albuquerque, most likely, and then we will be creating a ride share. If you really value autonomy and freedom, you can rent a car, of course, but we won't leave you stranded at the airport. So just want to let you know that that is coming up and will be sent out by our organizers. If there's no further questions, then
I have a quick question.
sure.
So I haven't signed up. I'm considering it. I joined here to kind of get a better feel for it. And so I don't see in my email anything from Tammy. Is that to be expected? Is this only assuming I've signed up, right? I signed up for this, but
Okay, so but you got an email to sign up from Tam, correct?
I actually don't remember. I've been just looking for NVC resources, found this, and I saw the training, and then I saw the video link to here that I
Okay,
signed
so
up.
Chris, what would be helpful is if are you pre-registered?
I don't think so.
If you could go, it doesn't cost anything to pre-register. If you could go to the CNVC website, maybe we can get the link in the chat.
Okay.
We can get the link in the chat.
I can do it.
Okay, thanks, Olga. And then if you just pre-register, then you'll get all of the emails.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you choose to come to ours. I'm excited about your project for sure.
Yeah, I have to say, you just an amazing, wonderful group of people that I'm inspired to come join.
Thank you. Thank you. Then do we want to do a check out, or do we want to just say goodbye? I know we're at 5 after and it's late there for Olga and Bibet.
I'm also feeling the need to move on with my day.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, we'll just say, were you able to put the chat? There we go. There's the link if you want to capture that, Chris. Cody, so nice to meet you. Lovely. Be great to see you there. And if not, Silver City, where you're moving, has a practice group that I'm actually here today to lead. So
Super cool.
get connected with the folks here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone just want to unmute and say bye.
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 Thank you, everyone.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you for your
everyone.
questions, Lisa and Cody. And thank